Welcome to Ann Arbor. We're at Chrysler Center for an in-state clash between the 14th ranked Michigan Wolverines and the MAC West champion Central Michigan Chippewas. With former Wolverine Malik Amin, I'm Brian Bush. Well, Malik, before we got this thing going, senior day, always emotional, and the Wolverines honoring 7 before this one.
Yeah, senior day is always an exciting day for, seniors. You work hard for 4 or 5 years, in Miles' case, 7 or 8. But, it's a great day for guys, Jack Medley, Pat Nolan, and it's just a remarkable journey that these guys had, and that we see at 125 is Jack Medley. But it's something that you hold your head high on, and I think Josh Trella spoke about it when I was at Michigan. You blink and it's gone. So I can't really stress enough of how fast this stuff really goes by. And now we're in the last match of the year, going in the Big Ten tournament. So.
And you mentioned Jack Medley, one of those honored here. This is his 6th year, facing off with Sean Speidel, a Michigan native, a junior for Central Michigan. He's 10-11 on the season.
Yeah, this Central team's a little bit younger. I think that they've had some guys come in and out of the lineup. I know they, lost a guy like Brandon Fleetwood, who was tough back in my day, and now that, they're just reloading. And always a team that you never could look by. Always have tough guys up and down the lineup, and you're really asking a lot to go up against a guy like Jack Medley. But
a little bit more than a minute into this first period.
Yeah, Jack's really good from here. That's one of his parts of his wrestling I feel like that he's really gotten a lot better in. And I always speak very highly of Jack just because of his story and how he really came to Michigan. I think he's one of the guys that you didn't really expect to see in the Michigan lineup. Goes toe-to-toe with Spencer Lee and another one, as well as Pat Glory from Princeton. So he's just got to flip those matches at the end of the year, obviously in 2020, honorable All-American. So definitely has the credentials, but is looking to cap off his senior year as an All-American. So.
Return to neutral, still scoreless early on. Medley, a major decision against Indiana last weekend.
Good shot right there. Yeah, and I think this is the position that Jack really needs to work if he really wants to get on the podium, especially against guys at 125, just being able to scramble a lot more. And obviously he's gotten a lot better, as you've seen, over these past couple matches. Has had a few that he's really slipped by him. At Rutgers was a tough one to watch, but I think a lot of these matches, especially at the end of the year in the Big Ten tournament, Jack is going to flip a lot of these matches. So as he looks for a takedown here, crazy scramble position, but able to collect.
And there is a takedown there, well earned for Jack Medley. Now can he keep him down with a little bit more than 30 seconds remaining?
I think this Central program too is you got to keep in mind if you're a guy at Central Michigan. I think Coach Borelli's been there for such a long time. You wonder, how much longer he's going to stay there in good hands of Ben Bennett and Colin Heffernan. So I think this Central program's only going to get better. I think they're one of the premier schools in Michigan where a lot of guys, might not want to wrestle in the Big Ten, or maybe even they didn't have the credentials in high school and want to prove themselves in the MAC. So, a guy by the name of Justin Oliver back in my day was pretty tough out of Central Michigan. So they're definitely a team that has really had their spots. I think 125 is one of those weight classes in the lower weights, and obviously you have Matt Stensel, another one, as well as an All-American. So Central's definitely a team that has had some credentialed wrestlers over their career or over their duration. But I think one of the things that they've really struggled to do, I guess, as I can remember, is put together that full team, 125 to 285. I think actually one of the years that I wrestled, they beat us. So I think since then they're kind of in rebuilding mode. But I think today, you have a little bit of a beat up Michigan team. You might be able to get some of these matches, and they're not going to see each other again until maybe the NCAA tournament. So for seeding, this could be a huge difference for some of these matchups. I think Johnny Lovett and Chance Lamer is going to be a really exciting one at 149. And then if we see Tracy Hubbard, Cameron Meehan, that was a close one last year as well. So.
And the brief stoppage there as Sean Speidel was cut open there just above the nose. So quick work there before the second period begins. And it was close, but Speidel was never able to get out of there to get that 1 point at the end.
That's a tough position, really, if you're Speidel. There's really not much you can do. You can try to really scramble through it, but it's kind of tough in that position to really do anything but give up the takedown and kind of damage control and not give up near fall. But I think at this point of the year, you see both lineups kind of struck by injuries, and I think it's just about staying healthy at the end of the year. And if you're a guy like Speidel, you know, you have a 500 record, you're just looking to stay healthy and give yourself the best chance to maybe make it to the NCAA tournament. And if you're Medley, same thing, you know, tack on some wins, build some confidence, and you're going into that Big Ten tournament.
There, Speidel able to get the escape to pull within one. But right now, Jack Medley does have more than a minute of riding time.
Yeah, Medley, again, he's really a guy that turns up the heat in these later periods, and I think that's what makes him such a good wrestler. And the problem is some guys figure him out and try to keep that match really close, or maybe even score a bunch in the first and second period, and Medley's kind of a workhorse that tries to get back in that match. And I always say it, man, over 3 or 4 years, I've never seen anybody go toe-to-toe with, I mean, toe-to-toe in the sense of Spencer Lee is not getting pinned, but, you know, go toe-to-toe with a guy like Spencer Lee, and I think that holds a lot to Jack's credentials.
One of the 7 honored here on Senior Day, and he's got a 1-point advantage here. Back to
That's a good shot. This is the infamous dump he likes to do. Speidel doing a good job of keeping his hits back, but
trying to turn. And there it is, the takedown, and well earned for Jack Medley.
Brian, this is really where he starts to pour it on. You know, if you're Speidel, you're kind of just trying to make it through this whole 7 minutes, and Jack Medley just keeps getting better as the match goes on. I call it just a workhorse, man. The guy just doesn't stop wrestling. But that's definitely going to pay dividends for him later in the year, especially at the NCAA tournament and the Big Ten tournament. You get 3-4 matches in, you know, everybody's beaten up, and there's your chance to beat, you know, one of the top guys in the country at the Big Ten tournament. You see him in the semifinals or maybe even in the quarters. At the NCAA tournament, they've already wrestled 3 or 4 matches. So that's one of the things that makes Jack Medley so special, being able to wrestle for 7 minutes, which a lot of guys struggle with. You might see a guy, you know, that's really technical, and then once that 6 minute hits, they're just trying to stay on their feet. So
once again, Medley able to not only get the takedown, but avoid the escape after that takedown in the final minute of a period here. He will start from the bottom here against Sean Speidel.
Yeah, and I think that's a point of emphasis that, you know, talking to Bourmet and being Coach Bourmet and the coaches and being in the room, I think Michigan struggled really in the top position, riding guys as Medley looks for the escape here, and he gets it. But I think that position is a point of emphasis in later in the season, and I'm going to keep hammering it till it's, you know, dead. As the NCAA and Big Ten tournament, man, top wrestling, I think if you watch the best guys in the country, the top All-Americans, the top champions, NCAA champions, they can ride and they can get out from the bottom. And I think, you know, Michigan struggled early on. I said we're going to look for danger here in the top position, but interesting position. He might be pinned. Ooh, that was close.
That was close. It does go as a takedown, so Medley maybe thinking bonus here, as once again Speidel will have to get worked on with a minute.
That definitely benefits Speidel.
No doubt.
Medley starting to really pour it on here.
So with the riding time close to being clinched, one more takedown here, and Medley could be thinking bonus here to try to get Michigan off to a strong start in the 125.
Yeah, you know, 7-1, 8-1 hypothetically, Brian, if he gets a takedown, that's in that range of, you know, major decision and maybe even technical fall. But if you're Jack Medley, I think, you know, pour it on him. I think we saw it last week against Indiana, close to start, and then started opening up the match in the 3rd period. And again, Medley's one of those guys, he's just going to hit you with an onslaught of offense, and if you're not ready or be prepared, you can kind of see it, what happened last weekend just broke. So
now this is an impressive effort from Medley against a guy in Sean Speidel who knocked off Tristan Lujan from Michigan State on Friday up in Mount Pleasant, won it 6-2.
Yeah, that was a good win for him. I think, you know, that's why I said for Speidel, you know, you want to stay healthy. You don't want to, you know, as he gets worked on for more blood time, you know, wrestling's not a nice sport, but you know, you want to be careful here. Don't do anything stupid. Don't get any scrambles. You see he's got his knees taped up. So, again, it's just being smart at the end of the season. Obviously, you want to still stay in the match, but
Speidel went for the leg.
Yeah, Medley's going to get another one here. So, major decision, pretty much secured. Yeah, he cuts back.
And there you go. So right now with that riding time, it would make it 10-2. Which gets you into that extra point.
Yep, he's got that major decision locked up right here, Bryce. So for Medley, it's ride out or maybe look for a turn. I don't think the coaches are going to want him to cut and try to get another. So I think it's just to ride it out, you know, get a W on Senior Day, get that momentum going into the Big Ten tournament. big win for Jack Medley.
Less than 30 seconds left.
It's the fans yell, stay on top.
Spidle's battling.
Yeah.
And that bandage is not working too well. It's about to pop off again.
I mean, he's fighting to the very end, which is, I think, you know, again for him, super important going into the MAC tournament, Big Ten tournament, whatever your conference tournament is. You know, finish on top. He looks for a roll there. And just
desperation attempt from Spidle to no avail. Riding time makes it 10-2. Solid effort and a great start for Michigan from Jack Medley.
Yeah, Medley really showed his skills there. You know, for him, not one of his better matches. I think, you know, obviously saying that is a major decision. Usually you like to see Jack, you know, really open up in that third period. But I think, you know, for him, you know, talking to him, he wants to work his riding, getting the wrist. And I think that's probably a little bit what you saw at the end there, not trying to get more takedowns. So I think, like I said before, just the importance of just riding at the Big Ten in the national tournament. And I think you saw a really good job of Jack Medley doing that just at the end of that match.
So one heck of a way to conclude his Chrysler Center regular season career. Of course, the Big Ten Championships will be here in Ann Arbor in a couple of years in front of many of these same Michigan fans in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
It's going to be a great atmosphere.
Yeah, for sure. I think I'm super excited for that. I wish it would have been then that way when I was in college.
Yeah.
Minnesota and Michigan State were the two when I was wrestling. But Michigan is going to be an electric environment, and this team definitely is going to shock a lot of people coming towards the end of the year. And I think they could be a trophy team in the Hunt Trophy team this year. And people might laugh at me for saying that, but you know, you got guys like Cam Amin wrestling right now, as well as Dylan Ragusin, guys that can really, you know, push some points at the NCAA tournament. And Mason Paris, obviously, one of those that, you know, you really want to see him win a national title. Been so close so many times, but and some guys that really have out of the shot chances to win it as well. So it's going to be a really exciting, you know, Big Ten and national tournament.
Now Michigan's getting healthy at the right time. They'll have Cole Matten in the next
nice
matchup,
there
and there's
Ragusin.
two from Dylan Ragusin.
Yeah.
To start things off against Vince Perez of Central Michigan.
Yeah, Vince Perez, you know, obviously a Michigan native, been really battling in the lineup at Central Michigan, and you know, just watching him evolve over his career as he gets taken down right there.
Right at the edge of the mat, another 2 points, and they'll reset. Ragusin coming out aggressive here, looking for his 46th career win. The redshirt sophomore, the native of the state of Illinois.
Yeah, Dylan surprised a lot of people, I think, when he came into Michigan. Obviously, super highly credentialed coming out of high school. Going to tout Izzy Martinez and the Montini Catholic team. A few guys on the Michigan team, obviously Will DeWan as well. So those guys are just bred different down there. But Dylan shocked, I think, a lot of people when he came into Michigan. Took second at the U.S. Open. So, yeah, a guy like Dylan is really looking to get into that top 8, you know, top 4. You know, fell short a couple times now, but I think this might be the year for him to finally break and be an All-American. So, nice shot.
2 takedowns for Ragusin, looking for a third. Near the edge.
Yeah. I think what makes Dylan so dangerous and hard to wrestle is how,
look at that tug.
Oh, they got to be careful there. As a cradle,
They give him the takedown.
He's got to be careful to go out of bounds. And he's got it. That's going to be a pin.
Is it going to be a pin?
This is going to be a fall.
Perez flailing, but he can't get out of it.
That's massive for Dylan.
A first period pin for Ragusin.
Awesome job there by Dylan. And, you know, I think this is great for him. You know, had a couple tough losses back to back. You know, went out to Oklahoma State. Guy that I rarely ever see gets pinned by Dayton Fix. And, you know, just been on a roll right now. 2 falls in a row for Dylan. So, excited to watch him wrestle at the Big Ten tournament, peaking at the right time, just like you said, Brian.
I mean, the aggressiveness early. I mean, he was attacking it. There was no feeling out process against Vince Perez there.
No way.
And now at the 141, Cole Matten is back. First time he's out there since the Ohio State duel here at Chrysler Center late last month. And he'll face off with Jimmy Nugent.
Yeah, Cole, I think, has just been injury plagued. I think he hasn't really seen his full performance that he really wants to get out of himself, if that makes sense. You know, he's had a few matches. I think I'll always say this, and I gained a lot of respect for him when he went out against a guy like Sam Sasso, up a weight, and almost beat him, and some people's opinion had a takedown.
Sure,
whether you're an Ohio State or Michigan fan is going to determine that. But I think that's really when I was like, you know what, this guy's a lethal guy. Just has been injured and just hasn't really seen that full performance. But, you know, obviously his senior year, going to go to dental school next year. We'll see if he takes another one as well. But he doesn't have to make that decision until after the season. But I think Cole Mattin's, again, one of those guys out of the shot chance to be, you know, a high All-American at a wide-open 141 class. No Tika Mihalis, you know, guys like, oh, it was a nice throw there.
And he gets the takedown. Oh, boy. Jimmy Nugent was all over the place, the freshman.
That was a beautiful throw there. But I think Nick Lee's gone. You know, Yanni Tika Mihalis is up at 49. So I think it's a wide-open weight class with Boo Alvarez being the #1 guy. So obviously no disrespect to Boo. Boo's a tough wrestler, man. Watching him wrestle over the years has been truly remarkable, especially at a Northern Colorado. But I think Cole definitely has a good shot to be an All-American this year, and you know, an under the radar guy. And I think you said Brian earlier in the year, you know, Michigan State Open champ, you know, beat a guy Moshe Schwartz out of Oklahoma. So
Matten trying to get positioning against Jimmy Nugent.
Oh, nice tilt there. Oh,
for a brief moment, Nugent's shoulder was down.
Yeah. But I think Cole was just disappointed at maybe his performance at the Cliff Keen Invitational. Lost to, you know, a few guys he beat earlier in the season. So, and obviously, like you said, you know, just coming back from injury just at the right time. So for him, just, you know, work your takedowns, just get in the back of groovy things. There's really nothing he needs to prove here, but just to get back in, you know, in his style. He likes attacking from the open. Just get back in the groove going into that tournament in a week and a half or so. So
for Nugent there, he was certainly in some treacherous spots to earn that escape for a young man who's lost his last 6 duels. That's helpful.
Yeah.
But there's Matten right after the leg again, and he gets another takedown. You do all that work, and then boom, in a flash, you're down 3 again.
Yeah, Nugent, you know, one of the younger guys, like I said, in the central lineup. So it's you know, it's tough to come into arena like Chrysler and, you know, wrestle a guy like Cole Matten, you know, obviously a senior, and there's really nothing to lose for Nugent and the central team. You know, obviously they're not favored on paper, as Matten's going to look for another fall.
Will he get it? Yes!
Back to back.
Back to back in the first period.
Goodness.
And it's 16-0 Michigan.
Wow. You know, Cole Matten, hats off to the guy. Comes back from injury, quick, lethal. Kind of looked like True Man, his younger brother, or his older brother over there with the hooks and halves. Cole's going to hate me for that, but man, that's just huge for him going into that Big Ten tournament. Looked super confident, super sharp, and we were lost for words on a couple of those takedowns. So I think that's going to be a guy going to be keeping an eye on in the Big Ten and national tournament.
Well, and that's why I think Michigan as a team has to be optimistic despite a 5th place finish in the regular season, because you're getting guys like Matten, Lawan, others that are getting healthy, and then, of course, someone you know well in Cameron Amin.
Pretty well. No, but, yeah, injuries are just such a thing that you can never predict. You know, you don't want to wrestle injured, but I think Sean Bourmet and the coaching staff's ideal is, you know, get these guys as healthy as they can. If they get injured at Big Ten and national tournament, so be it. You see guys, especially Yanni Tika Mihalis, Austin O'Connor, the best of the best perform when they're injured. So I think, you know, prevent as much as you can, but, you know, obviously you still got to get in these guys' heads. You know, you're going to have to wrestle when you're hurt. But, you know, Chance Lamer, one of those guys, a nice double there by Johnny Lovett.
Woo! Chance Lamer and Johnny Lovett.
Yeah, you know,
Lovett's fun to watch.
Interesting weight class for him, to be honest. You know, Johnny Lovett, a 157-pounder usually. Super exciting to watch. Will Lewan and him actually had an exciting match last year where Lovett won that match. But, you know, hasn't had the success that you would think he would have in another double by Johnny Lovett.
I mean, man, he is fast-paced. It's a young man who did not start wrestling until the 9th grade, and he has emerged as a star for Central Michigan.
Too, so Johnny Lovett this year really hasn't had that success that, you know, he's wanted, and at the success that he had at 57, as Lamer looks for a throw there, but Lovett, you know, at 57, you know, had some big wins over Lewan, you know, made a good, I'd say decent run at the NCAA tournament. So I think at 49 just hasn't seen that same season. But again, a guy, I'm telling you, he's more similar like a Cole Matten. Once he gets that tournament, it's game on. So I think for him, this is a big match for him. Chance Lamer, a guy ranked 22nd in the nation, been in and out of the lineup. You're at Chrysler Arena. You're not going to see this guy move into the NCAA tournament. Another seeding match. Huge, let's say, seeding criteria on the line right here at 149.
You mentioned the Lovett-Lewan battle last year up in Mount Pleasant.
Yeah,
this has already outscored that. It was 3-2 last year, a completely different style.
Yeah, Willie, I love Willie, but man, some of his matches you'd wish for him to score a little bit more points, which a lot of people don't know, which is crazy. He's one of the few guys I've ever seen beat a guy by the name of Alec Pantaleo, who most people know. But Will, I think he turns it on when it counts. This is the last guy I'm ever worried about. Obviously, his last year's performance was remarkable at the NCAA tournament. So,
and he'll come up in the 57 here momentarily. Good one between Lamer and Lovett.
So Chance Lamer, interesting story about him. I think he's one of 4 brothers. All of his brothers wrestle at Cal Poly. He's the only one that wrestles at Michigan. Well, I think he's got a younger brother that's yet decided where he's going to wrestle. Hopefully it's Michigan, but 2 brothers that wrestle at Cal Poly. He wrestles at Michigan. But watching, it's another double there.
And another couple of points there for Johnny Lovett.
Yeah, he's quick. And, Johnny, I think this is one of the better matches I've watched him wrestle all season. But
now with about 30 seconds left in this period, can Chance Lamer come up with an escape here?
Escape here, Bri. Yeah, but Chance, he suffered that head injury against Max Murin, like 12 staples in his head, so he's a warrior. I think a guy that, you call his number, he's always ready to wrestle, but I think it's more of a coaching decision as he looks for an escape here. Gets that 1 point, but it's more of a coaching decision to hold him off, and I think Chance probably was in Sean Bormet's ear saying, hey, I want to wrestle, but I think, had some injuries, some head injuries, and then staples in the back of his head. And I think the last match I called with him was with Austin Gomez of Wisconsin, who is one of the few people to beat Yanni DeCamales.
So 6-3 in favor of Johnny Lovett as we head to the second period. Central Michigan's first lead at any point in one of these clashes. He talked about Lamer and the family staying out west. He coming all the way from the home of Oregon State University, Corvallis. And a quick escape to pull within 2 here for Chance Lamer.
Yeah, he's got to be careful. He's got to keep his hands down. Lovett has got it a few times as he got an eye poke there. Michigan coaching staff not happy with that, but I think it might have been an eye poke. But Lovett's going to be harder for Lamer to wrestle just because Lamer likes that upper body position, and he's got to be careful. He's got to keep his hands down. There's another class double by Johnny Lovett, man.
4th takedown.
So quick. And this is the Lovett you want to see if you're Coach Borelli and staff. One of the more promising wrestlers, and we have another one coming up, Corbin Munson, that you really have a chance to maybe get on that podium at the end of the year. So Lovett's looking great here.
Yeah, high expectations for Central Michigan.
Yeah.
They haven't won a MAC championships since 2012. Last year they were undefeated in regular season duels, but couldn't get it done in the championship round.
Yeah, that MAC tournament is such a surprising tournament, like the Big Ten tournament. I'm not sure, going into that, who's healthy, who's not, and you have some upsets and a lot of at-large bids. Nobody knows what the criteria is going to be until the week before the conference tournament. So the MAC tournament's a really interesting one. Missouri, obviously, one that usually wins it, and they're in the Big 12 now. So. Northern Iowa, another one that usually is the top dog there. So, Central is definitely in that mix. But, Johnny, they're going to have to rely on guys like Johnny Lovett and, Corbin Munson and, Cameron Wood, guys that really going to have to get it done if they really want to be in the running at that MAC tournament. So.
High scoring here in this one. Michigan with back-to-back pins. They lead at 16-0, but right now Lovett's had control of Chance Lamer.
Lovett's got to be careful here because Lamer, again, he's more like a medley, and we saw that against, Austin Gomez where the match was kind of wide open in the beginning, and then, Lamer likes to win that third period where he really, goes gung-ho, and 1 feet to back throw here, Brian, and Lamer's up by 3 or 4 points. So Lovett's got to be careful, wrestle smart, keep your hands down. Doesn't really necessarily have to be super offensive, and maybe can get some of those counterattack doubles if they're open. So, but he does have a minute of riding time, so Lamer's got to get to work, and he's got to get to work fast.
So Lovett will start on the bottom.
Yeah, 149 field. This is absolutely stacked. I think 149 might be one of the toughest weight classes in the NCAAs this year. It always has, usually has been, but I think you got a guy like Austin Gomez, Max Muir and Yaya Thomas. I mean, yeah, I could go on and on all day about all the studs in the Big Ten, just in the Big Ten. But then you have a guy like Yanni DiCamahalis, Paniro Johnson. You just saw Paniro Johnson actually drop a match to Brock Muller, but it's just such an exciting weight class to watch. Super excited to watch at the Big Ten National Tournament this year. But yeah, Lamer's got to get going here, Bri. This is a negative wrestling position for him. This is something that where you really want to be if you're Johnny Lovett. Yeah. You'll take the stalemates all day, but
right now,
Chance
Lamer just trying to avoid a major
nice counter right there. Yeah, I mean, you really have nothing to lose here for Lamer. You're already down 5 points. I think Michigan's favored a lot of these weight classes. So, I mean,
see team what you can come up with late with a minute to
go. He's got a minute to go. You know, the team scores, I think, pretty close. But honestly, in my opinion, if you're Chance Lamer, you just got to let it fly here.
Yeah, riding time just about clinched, which would make it that 5. But
he's
right now,
he's gonna have to go big, feet to back, or find a takedown and a turn. But Johnny Lovett's so hard to score on.
Kind of feeling each other out here.
Yeah. Lovett's so good from his knees, too. I mean, that blast double is so good there. Yeah, you don't want to see that if you're Lamer, especially after that head injury.
Yeah.
Yeah, you heard that from over here.
Yeah, that had a thump to it.
You hate to see that.
And you can see right now they're just kind of
if you're Lamer,
playing this
looks
out.
Like he's a little bit in pain. Yeah, stalling on Lovett. I think Johnny Lovett's going to win this match. Another beautiful double, but I think Lamer got hurt on that double. I just hate to see that. I mean, Johnny Lovett, huge win for him, though. I mean, for a guy that's been kind of had an up and down season, I think earlier in the season had a rough start, but big win for Johnny Lovett.
Really solid effort from Johnny Lovett, who is going to be a force come MAC championships, as he is just shy.
I don't think he's worried about the MAC championships. I think Johnny Lovett's just going to get it done at the MAC tournament. Definitely a guy to watch at 49 in that field at the NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
So
falls 1 point shy of a major decision, settles for Central Michigan's first 3, and they've got a 16-3 advantage heading to our final clash before intermission.
Yeah, this is going to be an exciting match. I think Corbin Munson, nice shot there. Beat Caden Storer last year in a crazy match. Definitely one of the leaders on the Central Michigan team. And then obviously you have a guy like Will DeWan, who I think the most difficult guy to score on in the country. So
yeah, the All-American.
High power. It's the unstoppable force meeting the immovable object right here. Munson's going to keep coming, put him in scramble positions, and Will DeWan's just going to try to take what he can get.
Now, Munson had a instant classic against Chase Saldate with Michigan State on Friday.
That was a tough match. Chase able to pull that one out, but
snapping an 11-match win streak for Corbin Munson.
Yeah, Saldate's a gamer, man. He's one of those guys that's super exciting to watch, and Michigan State program just had a few up and down seasons. Showed himself at the NCAA tournament. Obviously, why he's so special, but I think this year being able to beat guys like Will, I think he's had a couple of other big wins. Derek Gilcher as well, who's had a really good season from obviously where I hail from is Detroit Catholic Central at Indiana. So again, the 157 weight class, sneaky good in the Big Ten. And Siebrecht from Iowa as well, and then the redshirt Levi Haynes from Penn State, who just came out of nowhere and started beating everybody. So it's just crazy, Brian. You really never know where the mix is going to be until the end of the season.
Now it shows you how deep the Big Ten is overall. And Luan, 15-5 this season, 75 wins in his incredible career.
They call it like the SEC. It's like the SEC of wrestling.
Oh yeah, it's the best.
It is the premier wrestling conference for sure. For those who maybe don't watch wrestling very often, if you're able to win the Big Ten championships, there's a good shot that you're going to be in the NCAA finals.
And that's why everyone's so excited about coming up here in Ann Arbor. That Big Ten championships here.
It's going to be electric.
Oh, it's going to be tremendous. First week of March.
Yeah, I mean, I could just say a few. I mean, Brooks and Miles, obviously, that was a match we saw 4 or 5 times, last year, and that ended up being the NCAA finals match. I'm trying to think who else, if I can remember. But, a lot of those matches were Big Ten, which is, it's crazy because sometimes they're even on the same side, and you're like, well, I just wrestled this guy in the Big Ten tournament, and the guy ends up taking 3rd place. You're like, why couldn't he be on the other side? 0-0 is a surprise to anybody, but.
Well, we talked about that Munson-Saldate clash. It was 1-1 until the final 20 seconds. A takedown, then a reversal. The riding point was the difference for Saldate.
Oh,
here's a look. How about that from Will Lewan?
You want to see right there. Oh,
Munson's in a tough spot.
Good for Willie. Can he
Getting
get it?
close.
Oh, Munson.
Oh.
He's crazy, man.
And they give 4 points there to Lewan.
Wow, but Munson able to pull a tightrope back there, and he was close to getting pinned.
The near fall, then they do.
Comfortable position for Lewan.
They do give Munson the escape there.
Wow.
But that came out of nowhere after it was.
He's a kitchen sink guy, man. He's so hard to wrestle. I think you have him dead to rights, and Will Lewan's, I'm gonna pull the half, and then boom. It's just one thing after another. I'm lost for words. I thought for sure Will had that secured, had that shoulder, and man, huge position there for Lewan, but Munson able to get that escape at the very end.
Michigan already with a couple of falls from Ragusin and Matten. The escape there for Munson, but he's got plenty of work to do here early in the second period.
This is like a major decision for Will. 6-2. It's going to be hard.
He must have heard you earlier.
Yeah, well, he made me eat my words because that was beautiful. Feet to back right there. And that's what he's capable of. Cadet world champion, Greco and freestyle champion at Fargo. So, Will is definitely capable of scoring a lot of points and opening up a lot of these matches. So he just needs to have the confidence to believe in it because it works. And wrestling with him over the years and at my career at Michigan, he threw me on my head a couple times like, man, where is this? Where is this when you're wrestling? And we just saw it right there, so he must have heard me. But that was a nice feet to back move there by Lewan.
And now this second period kind of unfolding like most of that first period did, and then of course that near fall out of nowhere, a little bit more than a minute in.
Yeah, I think Will. A big thing for him is to be able to control a lot of these matches, and I think that first takedown is so important for him because he's so hard to beat defensively. He's got a good double. He's like Cameron, where if he's up by a few scores, he's really tough to beat just because he's got such good counter offense. And that's why I said, he lost a couple of these matches earlier in the year. Saldate, Siebrecht, Levi Haynes, and I think those matches could easily be flipped at the Big Ten National Tournament. So definitely not a guy I'm worried about winning close matches. So.
Right now, Lewan's in control.
He can open it up here, Bri. I think, a 6-2 lead, you really got nothing to lose. Obviously, you don't want to throw yourself on your head against a guy like, Munson, who's super, 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 super hard to score on just because he's got so much funk.
And there you see Lewan trying to go for it.
Yeah,
too far off the edge. And 14 seconds remaining here in this second period.
Yeah, like you said, Saldate and Munson, he's, Munson's a guy who will just go for it. And I think he's learned a lot over his career, just and sometimes being a little bit smarter in those positions. And it's really, I think it's been the best version of Corbin Munson we've seen this year. So I think another
Munson there go after it. They're trying to get something late in the period.
He's gonna really turn it up in this third period. And I think Will's got to be smart about getting in those scramble positions because that's where Munson really lives.
And there's that look from that first period.
Yeah. Well, I think that was just a great conversion by Will. Feet to back, looking for that turn right away. And I think that's really where he's going to get a lot of them, is off that double leg. Yeah, Munson's really going to put the pressure on here. Will's got to be good here from the defense. Oh, nice throw there. See, Munson, he's tricky, man.
He held up.
He's tricky. And again, Corbin's really going to go for it here in this last minute and 30. So I think Will might have some opportunities to get some counters. Nice shot there, but ooh, he almost shot through him. Yeah. Well, Munson's really got to get it going. Yeah, see, he's really going to try to shoot and force scrambles.
And this is exactly what Lewan wants, just bleeding that clock.
This is what Munson wants too. He's comfortable in these weird positions. And this is one of them. He's really good.
Look out here.
Yeah, this is an interesting position. Yeah, Munson gonna scramble here, and
back and forth we go. Still nothing either side.
He's not gonna give it up. And Lewan finally gets around there.
Wow. Nicely done by Will Lewan.
Yeah, I just think maybe his luck ran out there. Fought really hard off that first initial takedown, and I think eventually Will just able to get in good position and just prevent the scrambling.
So 8-2. Riding time not a factor at this point, and likely will not be.
Yeah.
There's the escape, so
yeah. Ooh,
a chance
shot
here.
Yeah, I don't know what. Blood time. Yeah, he's not happy about that blood time.
20 seconds remaining.
Yeah, Munson definitely said a little bit to the ref, not happy about the blood time.
Yeah.
Should have said he called it earlier. But yeah, Munson and Lewan, I think this is going to be if it happens again. This is hypothetical at the NCAA tournament. It's going to be a crazy one to watch. I think if there's no 5-point move in the beginning of this match, this would be crunch time. 20 seconds left, as we saw with Saldate and him on Friday. But I think it's good for Central Michigan to wrestle Michigan and Michigan State. You know, 2 top 157 pounders. Really going to have, you know, maybe a little weaker division at the max, and I think really good for him to test himself against the best guys in the country. So 8-3, definitely not showing how close this match really is.
Totally agree. Yeah, that big 4-point swing.
Yeah, that was huge. And that's what you want to see out of a guy like Willie. He's definitely capable of it.
Final moments here.
I think he should try to get another takedown. Yeah. Ooh, nice shot.
And you got 20 seconds after a reset there. Why not?
Yeah, he's got nothing to lose. So, I mean, I think go for this extra takedown, get in the offensive mindset. Nice shot.
Can he get it?
Oh, gee, yeah.
Not
Munson's
quite. That'll wrap it up.
Yeah.
So 3 more for Michigan.
Definitely not a guy to bow down.
No.
So, hard guy to score on. Wow.
So Michigan storming out of the gates midway through this duel, the final for both sides here in the regular season. Michigan, a 19-3 advantage. They're rolling. We've got intermission at Chrysler Center. We'll come back, tell you about some of the Senior Day festivities here in Ann Arbor, and bring in the final 5 matches when we come back here on Big Ten Plus.
If you're looking for the biggest Big Ten experience, then welcome home. The Big Ten Plus app, powered by Big Ten Network, Personalize with your pass so you get your favorite Big Ten sports in schools, streaming and on demand. We're the home of compelling stories, the iconic games, hundreds of exclusive events you can't find anywhere else. Because when it comes to the Big Ten sports you love, there's no plus like home. Only on the Big Ten Plus app, powered by Big Ten Network. Download and subscribe now.
I feel honored every day. I'm humbled every day to be the mayor of this incredible city. And if I do the job the right way, I open up opportunities for others. And that's, to me, what being a trailblazer is all about. Harold Washington. I feel the tug of his history with me every single day. I think about Jane Byrne being the first woman. And I'm feeling the weight of history as a member of the LGBT community. The fact that I was able to campaign and win, being who I am, the constituencies that I represent unapologetically, is a great testament to where we are as a city. It wouldn't have been possible not that long ago. But there's a lot of trailblazers who have really opened up, I think, the eyes of an electorate. I'm Lori Lightfoot, the 56th mayor of the great city of Chicago and a proud Michigan Wolverine.
Shine your light, we're better together. Going higher, higher. Oh, we're better together. All around the world we are one. Oh, we're better together. Going higher, higher.
There are many people in Detroit trying to improve their neighborhoods, and they simply don't have access to needed services. The Detroit Neighborhood Entrepreneurship Project brings together students and faculty from the University of Michigan's Law School, Ross Business School, and Stamps School of Art and Design to provide comprehensive services to small businesses and entrepreneurs in the city of Detroit.
We are a digital marketing and PR firm that works primarily for underrepresented communities. We got legal help from the law school and help from the design school. But it's also the help that they provide by being part of a network. There's a relationship that's going to be everlasting.
One of the biggest things was learning more about interacting with the client and having that opportunity to work with a company that had such great values too. I think that was really exciting.
back here in Ann Arbor. It's a special day at Chrysler. Senior Day for Michigan. 7 seniors honored with Sean Bourmet welcoming friends, family members, and those 7 Wolverine seniors who are competing for the final time here at Chrysler Center in the regular season. Of course, the Big Ten championships coming up, and the big story for Michigan all season, Mason Paris, the heavyweight, who we'll see coming up to wrap this thing up against Brian Caves, the redshirt freshman for Central Michigan. Been an unfathomable career for Mason Paris, #1 in the country, but so many key for this Michigan program that is off to a strong start today, well on their way to an 11-4 regular season record after winning 5 of their 8 Big Ten duels. And Sean Bourmet, he knows what that feeling is like as a former Wolverine, a 2-time All-American, 2-time captain. And it was great to see for the Wolverines, one of those seniors, Cole Matten, who followed Dylan Ragusin. Ragusin with that fall on Central Michigan's Vince Perez. And then the aforementioned Matten, like Ragusin, in period number 1, pinning Jimmy Nugent, the freshman. As Michigan stormed out, they led 16-0 in this duel to start things off. Then a decision for Johnny Lovett for Central Michigan. Will Lewan countered with a 3-point effort for Michigan to get it to 19-3 as we get ready for the 165. And, well, Malik Cameron Amin is back, and that's big for Michigan.
Yeah, well, we saw him at Chrysler last time, and man, he had the freaking crowd up on their feet. So I think, you know, for him, just getting back in the lineup, we might have saw him against Indiana if that duel got close, but he's back, and this is a rematch of last year, which was a close match.
Tracy Hubbard, his counterpart for Central Michigan, a redshirt senior from Macomb. He is 14-13. Amin, an incredible pin in overtime against Ohio State the last time we've seen him, but hey.
Yeah, that was unbelievable. I mean, I rarely get out of my seat, but man, I think I almost ran on the mat. It just shows you the heart in a guy like, you know, Cam Amin, and obviously speaking from the family that, you know, I think he holds a lot, just being, you know, your last name Amin, what that truly means, just a battle to the very end. And I think my dad and his dad, and God bless my grandfather who passed away in 2017, that instilled in us just to win, lose, or draw, fight to the very end. And I think we saw that against a guy, you know, Carson Karslava. We know his dad very well, trained us actually in Ohio. That is definitely a guy that I think hopefully eventually it will be those 2 guys in the national finals, which would be awesome to see. But
how difficult is it when you're in Cam's situation? You want to come back. It's not a season-ending type of an injury, but you have to think about the big picture.
Yeah, you got to be careful, and I think the knee injury is not that serious. I think it's one that was just kind of precautionary. Again, I spoke up about it earlier in the duel. You got to be smart, but you're just going to have to wrestle through injuries at the end of the year. Everybody's beat up. It just, again, it's going to come down to who wants it more and heart. I mean, a guy like Austin O'Connor, you've seen the success he's had healthy this year. Last year, you know, his shoulders messed up, elbows messed up, knees are messed up, and able to be an All-American was truly remarkable, and didn't really get a lot of spotlight last year. Shout out to Austin O'Connor of North Carolina. But if you're a guy like Cam Amin who just recently got injured, I think for you, just get back in your groove. Don't have to do anything crazy. Just get some momentum going in that Big Ten tournament. Only guy that's beaten him this year that's starting is Alex Facundo, which they've had a history of. So, but wins over Hamidi, you know, win over Carson Karchla. I think he's got a good chance to be the #1 seed at the Big Ten tournament.
Final minute of this first period. These two still trying to feel things out early on.
Yeah, and Cam, I think, is probably the best wrestler in the neutral position at 165 in the country. I think where he really needs to step it up is in that top-bottom position, and I think that's the difference. That's a stall call there on Hubbard. I think that's the difference for him to, you know, beating a guy like David Carr and Keegan O'Toole and losing to a guy like them is the top and bottom position. I think on the feet, he can wrestle with Miles and these top wrestlers. I think it's on the mat where he's really going to have to work to get to that national title goal that I know is a goal of his. So
after the stalling call, final moments of this first period. An aggressive look
so
from
hard
Hubbard.
to score. Straight on double. You're going to have to try a little bit more than that to take him down. And that's with a knee injury. So.
Yeah. And you see that wrap on that right knee as we are scoreless through the first period.
So he's been working on top. I've been popping in and out of the room by the guy named Alex Derringer, who many people may know, 3-time national champ, Hodge Trophy winner. So shout out to Alex Derringer. I think helping Cam work in the top position, and maybe we'll see some of that later in this match. But having a guy like him in the room is awesome.
And he talked about Cam Amin's great work in this neutral battle. Well, he got there in about 2 seconds to get the first point.
Well, you can see it's already been helping. I think maybe that knee injury is a blessing in disguise to maybe slow down some technique and work those areas that he really needs to work in. Yeah, I think I'm excited for this third period. I think that's, nice shot. I think that's maybe not that many people are like, I'm excited to see top-bottom wrestling, but I think I'm really excited to see how this third period goes as probably Hubbard's going to take that bottom position and see really where Cam Amin's been working.
I mean, great idea of where this match has gone so far.
Yeah.
1 second of ride time.
Well, that was probably the
I don't know where
fastest
that
escape we
was.
saw all day. I didn't even see it happen. But, yeah, again, for Cam, I think he's going to want to open up these matches. Had a lot of close matches. Hamidi came down to the very end. Caleb Fish came down to the very end. Definitely capable of nice snap and go there, but definitely capable of opening up these matches. I think it's going to be that top position. Not necessarily from scoring points, but I think wearing guys out and maybe, getting some riding time and open up those matches.
You talk about how difficult it is to score on Cameron Amin. I mean,
well, it's not easy to score on Tracy Hubbard.
No,
either.
it's not. No, 100%. But you see it a couple times where it's been lightning quick.
Yeah, love it. I think Lovett and Hubbard are probably the most two. And I got to give a shout out to Corbin Munson. 3 guys that are really, really tough to score on from the Central lineup.
This is kind of the heart of what they can do, Central Michigan.
Oh, this is
from
the heart.
49 to 65.
Exactly.
Even 74 with Alex Kramer.
Yeah, it's an onslaught of guys. So I think. Hubbard, for him, this is right where he wants to be. 1-0, got a chance to get an escape in that third period, and we'll see where Cameron Amin really has grown in the top position right here, as we'll go down to the third period now.
Now Hubbard, on Friday against Michigan State, he was ridden out the entire second period by the Spartans' Caleb Fish. So that's something to watch for here with now Hubbard in that bottom position.
Yep. So we'll see where he's been working. Yep, that double pry. Well, there it is. That's that Derringer double pry. He's got to be, and he
gets
him
out of it.
Yeah, but that double pry has been super successful, I think, for a guy like Derringer. But I think Cam's got a little way to go to mimic that.
So assess what you've seen from Amin here. First time back in a few weeks. What have you seen so far?
I think he looks good. I think for having a knee injury, I think he looks super explosive. Maybe a little bit timid right there in the top position, kind of got, I think, off put by that switch. But this is definitely where he wants to be, is back on his feet where he's comfortable. But he's going to have to get really uncomfortable in that top position if he wants to beat guys like Keegan O'Toole, David Carr, Alex Facundo. I think, those matches are going to be won in the top position. Especially he might be able to get 30 seconds of riding time, but then he's back to his feet where, a guy gets out in 2 seconds and didn't waste any energy. So. I mean, this is a historical repeat of what happened last year, literally. So
a minute left in the third period. Who will try to be the aggressor first here in what's been largely a stalemate?
Well, I think Cam's probably going to be the aggressor here. It really looks like he's pushing the pace. And I think Hubbard's actually been warned for stalling as well. So Cam Amin really nothing to lose here.
Yeah, that happened late in that first period.
Nice shot.
Goes for it.
Double.
And he's got the takedown.
Well, this is important for Cam. I think, yep, as his dad is yelling behind me, keep him down. I think we all want to see him keep him down. I think he's got to look for that double pry right off the whistle.
20 seconds left, and that likely the clincher. Heck of a job by Cam Amin.
This is an important 20 seconds for Cameron. I think holding him down is a huge confidence booster. He has it in him, especially when he's tired, to get that hard ride out. So, and a slip right there. Yeah, beautiful double leg, but I'll take him against anybody in the country on the feet. The area of concern for me is in this top position where Hubbard not going to fool him this time. But, yeah, that switch, and he's got to be careful. But not, hey, able to wrestle through there.
10 seconds remaining.
I think I've ever seen that one before, Brian.
Wow.
That was like a...
Hey, desperate times call for desperate measures.
I mean, we saw what happened to Karshla when he tried that. He's lucky he didn't get stuck there. Yeah, I think Cameron was a little bit stunned right there, but he's going to try that switch again. Nice.
Look at that to cap it off. Welcome back, Cameron Amine.
Yeah.
A well-earned 3-1 victory.
Well, I think I was lost for words in that match. I think he tried to do that Granby suicide roll, and I think Cam had such a weird reaction to it that he almost ended up behind him, which would have been a tie score. Would have been a reversal. It was a weird position, which honestly the outcome that was expected didn't happen. I think Cam just got a little bit shocked there, but able to ride that end of that third period out. It's huge for him.
So Michigan in control in the duel, up 22-3. Here's number 32 in the country, Alex Kramer at 174 for Central Michigan against Joseph Walker, 5-4 on the season for Walker, a redshirt sophomore.
Yeah, Joe Walker and Max Mailer. This will be an interesting coaching decision to see who they go with at the Big Ten tournament. Max Mailer able to keep some close matches with guys like Clay Law. I think DJ Washington was one of them that we just didn't expect to go the way that it did. But nice shot there, beautiful takedown there by Kramer. And then Joe Walker going out and wrestling a close match with the coach's son, Brand. So I think both these guys have a good shot to start and maybe make some noise at the Big Ten tournament.
Well, here's a great opportunity for Walker against a guy in Alex Kramer, 25-8. He's been awesome. Won the other night against Michigan State, 3-0.
Yeah, that was a big win for him. 32 sitting in at that wild card slot going into the MAC tournament. So for him, get a win against a Big Ten opponent, huge for him. Back to back, actually, it would be if he wins today.
Yep.
So huge confidence booster for him. But on the other side, Joe Walker coming in the lineup again, back and forth, splitting matches with Max Mailer. Both guys pretty even, in my opinion. I think this one's going to come down to a wrestle-off before the Big Ten tournament, regardless of the result here. But we'll see who we will see at the Big Ten tournament in Ann Arbor in the coming weeks.
So Walker doing what Cesar Garza could not do, and that was come up with an escape in that early stage here of this first period.
Yeah, it's big for Walker. Kramer tough in the top position, really stingy. And I think Cesar Garza tried a couple times on Friday night to get to his feet, and just tough riding from Kramer. But you have a guy like Ben Bennett in the room who lives and dies in the top position. I think, and especially in the 174 weight class, perfect matchup for him. And that's really been the slew of their good guys. It's been from the 49 to, good shot there by Walker. Nice.
Can he finish the deal?
Good shot there.
Gets him down for two. Good stick-to-itiveness there from Joe Walker.
Another double.
And right in front of us. Woo. Getting physical here between Walker and Kramer.
Well, he's got a chip on his shoulder, I think. Right, I think, not starting against DJ Washington, a match that he wanted, and Mailer going out there and, getting pinned. I think Walker's definitely got a chip on his shoulder, and it looks like it in this match with that double out of bounds. So.
And we're all square, 3-3, final minute of the first period.
Yeah, 174 in the Big Ten is pretty wide open, other than, I think, obviously Carter Strachey, one of the, I would say, more unbeatable guys in the country. But, if you're a guy like Joe Walker, Max Mailer, Donnell Washington, Cesar Garza, you're definitely in that mix. And we'll see, again, how many allocations they give 174. So for Walker, it'd be huge for him to get a win here against Kramer.
Kramer going for the trip.
He's got to be careful here.
And
Short
he gets
time
it.
left.
With 17 seconds left, that's a huge pivot point. And
Yeah.
Kramer getting
Kramer's-
some of that momentum
Yeah.
back.
Oh, nice
Going for
reversal.
the reversal.
Wow.
And he got it.
On the edge.
Wow.
Wow. Big move there by Joe Walker.
5-5
out
through
there.
the first period. What a sequence there.
I think that's been more points than we've seen these past 2 matches. But, wow, Joe Walker digging it out there.
Just when it looked like Kramer was going to take over some of that momentum, the huge reversal from Joe Walker, who will start from the top position here in this second period.
Yeah, Joe. I think Joe just pulled the rabbit out of the hat right there at the edge. I think, Kramer got a little bit lazy. I think saw the clock counting down, and Joe Walker able to get the Granby roll on the edge. Oh, nice shot. Yeah, he's got to be careful here, though.
Kramer
Yeah, Kramer's
trying to
look.
flip it.
Yeah, Walker's going to have to try to double off.
Danger zone.
Yeah, it's probably going to stalemate here. But if you're Walker, you want to get that double. Kramer's obviously just damage control, but
And there it is.
back to the feet.
This
Still-
has been high octane
Yeah.
early on.
I'm still
between-
recovering from the end of that first period.
Narrow 1-point advantage for Alex Kramer in Central Michigan. Wolverines in control of the duel overall.
Nice shot there by Kramer. Walker looking for that ankle. Going to keep Russ on here. He's got to be careful.
Kramer trying to flip it.
Is he going to get,
The shoulders were
doesn't
on
want
the
to get
mat
pinned.
briefly.
Yeah, Kramer's, flexible and almost was able to get a fall. I don't even think he was aware of it, but yeah, he's got to be careful. Might be a stalemate, but sometimes I've seen this
Getting
been
close to
called
that.
too. Yeah, I've seen this been called too before. It's just referee's discretion.
Walker
gonna-
face down in some trouble here.
He's got to step over that leg and get his hips over the back. Yep, and but he's
Still
got that
nothing.
Merkle position. This is a weird position, Brian.
Oh, and
He's
how
able to
about
get
the
that too.
turnaround from Joe Walker?
Well, as I said, he's got to step over that back leg and get his hips over top, really, to control Kramer's hips, and he's able to do so. I don't think he was aware of it at first, but eventually able to collect a 2-point takedown. And then Kramer had a Merkle of his own, but nice roll there again. And then another
15
7-7.
seconds left, and we're deadlocked again. Oh, just when it looked like
Yeah.
Kramer would score,
This looks like a
Walker
jiu-jitsu
flips
match.
it. Yeah.
The guy rolling on their back, grabbing ankles. Craziness.
And
at
we go to the
174.
third period.
Wow.
7-all.
Talk about high scoring.
Something tells me 7-7 is going to be far from the final in this one.
Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen. We'll see. They're just going punch for punch. It's Rocky versus Drago right here at 174. If we could have 10 rounds of this, man, this would be awesome. This is what you pay for the price of admission.
And obviously, Walker in that bottom position. He escapes and he takes the lead back.
Yeah. I think the competition is good for both these guys, for Walker and Mailer. I think rising to the occasion at the end of the season, I think Walker definitely wrestling for something here and trying to tell the coaches, hey, I'm your guy at 174. I'm putting it out there. If I get a win against a guy like, Alex Kramer, am I legit? But, he looks to get an escape there. But, again, nice.
Still hasn't gotten it.
Yeah, he's got to be careful here, Brian. He doesn't want to give up that riding time point.
Right now it's at 30 seconds.
Yeah, Kramer's so tough here in the top position, as you said, able to ride out Cesar Garza. 3-0 victory for him on Friday.
Yeah, he had almost 4 minutes of ride time there.
And he could get a reversal.
Wow.
Reversal, he's got to get a reversal here. And, Kramer's slipping out. Oh,
The
man.
ride time
But the ride time is
continuing.
clicking up. He's got to be careful. He's hanging on that toe. Joe's got to get to his feet here, Brian.
A minute
to
left in
go.
the third period.
Yep, riding time's going to be locked up here, Brian.
1 minute now.
So you're going to have to either get a reversal or get to your feet and give yourself a chance in overtime.
Kramer relentless here against Walker.
Shoot, Alex Kramer, man. Hats off to
45
him.
seconds.
Wow. That rear ankle hook and just digging deep after a few, mishaps he had earlier in this match with those Granbys and kind of got in bad positions. But Walker's going to want to get out of bounds here. There's really nothing to lose for him. 30 seconds to go.
He looked over at that clock.
Yeah, he's going to have to dig deep here, Brian. Yeah, this would be huge if Walker could get an escape.
20 seconds.
Yeah, this is a bad position.
Walker is really struggling here.
Yeah, I think Kramer's going to ride out the end of this match. Walker really no response for that.
You can see it in the face.
Yeah, that's tough.
Heck of a battle. One more desperation attempt from Walker. Nothing doing. 8-7 Alex Kramer. That was a battle.
Yeah, that's tough to watch. I think as a Michigan fan, you really wanted to see him dig deep and score there, but that just shows you how tough a guy. Alex Kramer catching fire at the end of the season, man. Wow, 2 big wins back-to-back, Friday, Sunday. That's huge for Central Michigan.
And riding time was key in that matchup. On Friday, it was just a dominance, almost 4 minutes of it. Here, basically the entirety of the third period. And now we go to 184. Ben Cushman against the grad transfer from Duke, Matt Finesilver, number 8 at 184.
Yeah, Matt Finesilver, one of 400 Finesilvers. But I think the Finesilvers have been a Duke family, and finally he's the maverick of the Finesilvers going to Michigan. But super happy to have a guy like, Matt Finesilver around. Great for the culture, sticking around to wrestle for Israel. And the Cliff Keen Wrestling Club, so it's not the last we'll hear of him after this season.
He also wants to start a business, too.
Yeah, I mean,
bright future ahead.
They breathe success. I mean, knowing his brother Mitch pretty well, been doing really, really well. European medalist, obviously, on the senior level. I think, honestly, in my opinion, should have been an Olympian. I watched the match against, Ukraine, which is a match away from being an Olympian. So, I mean, a family that's just credentialed to a T. So, Matt Finesilver looking to add to that and finally get through to being All-American. Been so close so many times. His brother Josh as well. It's just, I think for him, he's one of the guys on Michigan that is kind of on that, I'd say, on that edge of being, is he going to make it into that top 5? I think he's definitely, if he wrestles the best he can, a top 8. But can he break, the NCAA semifinals? Can he get into the finals? I think a guy like him could surprise a lot of people. He's just, closing a match with Caleb Ramiro that was very, I think, and it was 9-4 earlier in the season, then a takedown match here at Cliff Keen's or at Chrysler Arena. So Matt Finesilver definitely, I think, catching some steam at the end of the year too.
About a minute in, Cushman. He lost against Michigan State 7-4. Fell behind early, tried to rally to no avail. Finesilver 19-5 in this his first go around at U of M.
Yeah, and those 5 losses are to studs.
Yep.
I think Matt doesn't let himself get out of position very often. I don't think he has very many bad losses in his career, just to let alone at Michigan. And I think what makes him really good is wrestling in his top position, where he just punishes guys. And I think that's going to be huge for him at that national and Big Ten tournament, is especially in these matches, like I said earlier in the day, the quarterfinals, semifinals, when you're really not at your best, and a guy like Matt Finesilver, gets in that top position and just wrenches on you. It can definitely change the course of the match. But if you're in Matt Finesilver 0-0 match, this definitely isn't the worst outcome for you going into that second period.
No. Almost 2 minutes into this first period.
1 minute, Matt, 1 minute.
Yeah, and the Finesilvers are guys on your team that you definitely want to have. I think, outstanding gentlemen off the mat and on the mat. Definitely a good guy to have in the room. Super positive. Love being around the guy. So that's going to be great to still have him around at Cliff Keen Wrestling Club.
Yeah, I mean, the impact he's made on this program in his only season up here, truly incredible.
Yeah, and I think he's convinced a lot of the – oh, nice shot there. I think he's –
and he gets the takedown late in this first period.
He's been a strong supporter of the mustache.
Yes.
As well, more importantly. But we've seen he convert some Wolverines. You see a few in the lineup, and obviously me as well. But, yeah, this is definitely his strong suit, is his top position. And I think he's I'd say the key of wrestling is not a nice sport where I think he punishes a lot of guys with that Turk position.
And you talk about his excellent work up top, trying to prevent the escape in the final moments of this first period. And now Cushman, he's got no chance. Almost 40 seconds of riding time and a 2-0 advantage for Matt Finesilver.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, I ate my words. I said we'll see who takes top or bottom first. So Matt Finesilver's probably going to get choice in that third, or sorry, Cushman's going to get choice in that third period. I highly doubt he's going to pick bottom, but.
And Fine Silver,
Back to his feet.
quick. It's 3-0 in favor of Fine Silver. Fine Silver grew up in Colorado, then went to Duke. 3-time NCAA qualifier at 174 while Blue Devil.
Oh, good shot.
Cushman
Cushman.
fighting around the edge of the
I
mat.
don't know. That might have been a takedown there, Brian.
Really close. Central
Yeah,
Michigan will
I think,
throw
yep,
the brick.
Exactly. I think he hit the hip. I think just unassuming re-attack right there.
And that was pretty instantaneous from the veteran
Yeah.
head coach Tom Borelli. 32nd year head coach.
I got my Uncle Sam sitting behind me, and I think he's right. After that shot, I think if you're going to challenge a takedown, it's going to be a locked hands as well, but we'll see the review.
And at this stage, down 3-0. If you are close, you got to throw that brick there. As you
Yeah.
get a look at head coach Sean Bourmet, done a tremendous job at Michigan his 5th season.
Yeah,
And
this is
entire
going to be an
coaching
interesting
staff.
position to look at. Wrestling has gotten more complex over the years, but I think what the referees are looking at, they're going to look at a takedown. I think why they're reviewing it for such a long time is there's probably going to be another locked hands call at the end, but we'll see what the call is on the mat. But again, I think my Uncle Sam sitting behind me was yelling locked hands as well, because if he's going to get that takedown, I think the first initial rear standing position, he did have his hands locked, but if his hands did touch the mat, he would have control. So I guess there's a point there, but we'll see how far they review it. Because that's not in favor of Cushman. He does. If there's no takedown on the mat, how is he gonna he's unlock his hands? So it's going to be an interesting call. This is the one thing I really disagree with a lot in wrestling is some of these. It's hard to get people to watch the sport where there's so many subjective calls on the mat. But if I were making the rules, it'd be a little bit different. But there's going to be no takedown. So
Okay.
wow. Yeah.
So a big pivot point in this battle between Fine Silver and Cushman.
I think
Still
it was one of
3-0.
those that they were unfolding. You're like, well, what's going on here? I think we just wave this one off. Let these guys wrestle.
Fine Silver with the early advantage.
Yeah, that was an unassuming re-attack there by Cushman. I think it just caught Fine Silver off guard. But we'll see if he can chain another one together. And he's down 3-0. I think he's gonna have selection in third period. We'll see if he goes down or not. I think coaching decision-wise, you're probably gonna want to score on the feet. I think Fine Silver's best position is gonna be in the top position. So Cushman's probably gonna have to get a takedown here if he really wants to be close in this match.
Cushman 13 and 17 on the year.
30 seconds.
I think
He's
a lot
lost 5 of his last 6,
Yeah.
including Friday night.
It's just, I think the schedule that Central has had this year has just been grueling.
Yep.
A lot of these records we see is definitely not, a speaking of the credibility of a lot of these wrestlers. But
Yeah, I mean, they started 0-5, and a lot of
it's-
that was non-league opponents.
yeah, I think Central's schedule this year has just been grueling. So I think a lot of these guys are going to have a lot to prove at this MAC tournament coming up.
Final moments of this second period. And that
we'll see what
holding of
happens
the
here.
no takedown call, a big thing here.
This is interesting. Borelli wants him to go under Fine Silver. We'll see what the outcome of this. It's usually not good. But yeah, but I think it's his only shot. I think if he's going to be in this match, he gets an escape. He's a takedown match. But they doomed by that first takedown.
And Fine
Nice.
Silver
Back to his feet. He
trying to
loves-
trip
yeah,
him.
He's so good from there. You got to wonder how many times you really want to come to your feet if you got that leg in.
And Fine Silver. Just love how he snaps right back to the center of the mat.
Yeah. I think he's excited that Cushman picked bottom. He seems overjoyed, but he got a caution there. But
Central Michigan, false start, first caution.
So the false start on Cushman.
Yeah.
He knows how
I know
urgent
that
this
feeling,
situation
man.
is.
I know that feeling. I was pretty tough on top. I think I was a lot better on top than I was on my feet. But getting that feeling, saying, yeah, I get to ride for 3 minutes or 2 minutes. It's an exciting feeling. And he looks for some near fall, and that's his strength right there, man.
I mean, that was lightning quick, and now Feinsilver in a very advantageous position.
Yeah, he's like Bruce Lee, like water, man. This guy's this is his best position. I think watching him wrestle here as he got that cradle locked up. Beautiful
Look
cradle
out here
there by Feinsilver. Oh, quick 2
They
count.
give him 2.
That's a technique that is stolen from a guy by the name of Ed Ruth, who used to kill people from that position, that leg in, that cross-body cradle.
So now from a really close battle to potentially a major in the offing because the riding time is dominated by Feinsilver.
Yeah, he's a kid in a candy store right now, man. I think when you get the best position, kind of like Cam Amin being in that neutral position, really comfortable. I think Matt Feinsilver lives and breathes in this top position, and he's going to get some bonus points, I think.
Trying to get it again.
Yeah, he's just so tough here, man. And this is going to be huge for him going into this Big Ten tournament. I think this is where he's just really strong, and it's almost tough to watch.
Just dominant in this third period.
9
4 more. It's a major decision right now, but Feinsilver might be looking for more.
Yeah, he's hungry. I think he's looking for a fall here. This goes to that bent leg, Rutherford Turk there. Yeah, he's just so fluid. I think what makes him so special is he can ride both legs, which is super hard to defend from bottom position.
10 seconds. Feinsilver.
Yeah. You wonder the coaching decision. He's seen the capability of a guy like Matt Feinsilver. Why not try to win it on the feet? Beautiful shot there at the edge. Obviously wasn't called a takedown, but you kind of want to question that coaching decision and giving Cushman a chance to win that match. But I guess you're not disappointed if you're Matt Feinsilver when a guy chooses down.
No. 20th win this season, number 99 here on Feinsilver's senior day. And that was dominant in the third period. 7 points right there to take it 10-0 over Ben Cushman. And just an incredible effort from Feinsilver.
Dominant win by Matt Feinsilver. And that's the Matt Feinsilver you want to see, clicking on all levels. Didn't get discouraged after, I guess an up-in-the-air takedown. And I think it was licking his chops when Cushman took down.
So Michigan, a 26-6 domination so far as Brendan Yatuma will take on Cameron Wood here at 197. An opportunity for Yatuma, who's 5-12 on the year, the former 2-time state champ in the state of Michigan at Detroit Catholic Central. Facing off with a Pennsylvania native, Cameron Wood. Wood had a tough battle against Cameron Coffey on Friday. The 4-time NCAA qualifier beat him 10-3. Or excuse me, 18-3.
Yeah, Caffey's not an easy guy to wrestle, but Yatuma, in most people's minds, I think had him beat. But I think for Yatuma, Cam Wood, one of the better wrestlers on Central's team, younger guy. Nice slide by there.
And 2 points for Wood out of the gates.
He was a Pennsylvania state champion and 2-time state place winner. He is 9-20 this year.
Yeah, Cam Wood really strong in the top position. And Yatuma's going to have to really do something here from the bottom position if he doesn't want to get, I think, scored on to have this match wide open.
A strong start for
Yeah,
Cameron
he's
Wood.
so good in that claw ride.
Yatuma trying to get out of it here.
Yeah, this is one of the weight classes Michigan has had, a few, I'd say, a few holes would be 197 looking to replace, Pat Bruck. Yeah, they had Pat Brucky last year. Brendan Yatuma stepping in this year. Bobby Strigow in and out of the lineup that, was plagued by injuries, and then, trying to get a guy like Jacob Woodley to come wrestle, and unfortunately was academically, or not academically ineligible, was NCAA ineligible because of his transfer. But I think for Michigan, this is one of the weight classes they've really looked to replace since a guy like Kevin Beasley was able to All-American back in I think it was about 2018. But I think for Michigan, 197 is one of those weight classes they've just been really, really struggling with to get a fine guy at.
Yatuma unable to escape there as they were working around the edge of the mat. And there is a bit of a delayed escape there. Michigan fans were clamoring for it before that return.
Yeah,
But
Yatuma's
already a
gotta
minute
get
of
on the
riding
off-
time
He's
for
got to
Wood.
get on the offense here, Brian. I think Wood's comfortable from a 2-to-1 lead, and again leans on that top position. So Yatuma definitely capable of being super explosive and athletic. Also was a All-American football player. So
30 seconds remaining.
Final moments of this first period. Michigan has locked down the dual victory. Now they're trying to get some momentum at 197 before Mason Paris in that heavyweight spot will
Oh,
cap
man.
things off.
yeah, that's going to be a one that a lot of people are going to miss. Mason Paris at Chrysler Arena.
Amazing.
Yeah, you got to be grateful for watching that guy wrestle. He's once in a generation kind of guy. So
So a 2-1 lead
that's a
for
crazy
Cameron
one
Wood.
there, Brian. You got Adam Kuhn, then you got Mason Paris. Who's going to be the next Michigan heavyweight U to step in? We'll see. Yeah, we'll see who it's going to be. But man, Mason Paris, from Adam Kuhn to Mason Paris, that's like every coach's dream.
Yep. But here, Cameron Wood at 197 for Central Michigan. The Chippewas got victories from Johnny Lovett at 149, and then Alex Kramer at 174. Otherwise, it's been all Wolverines, including 2 falls for Ragusin at 133 and Matten at 141. Trying to escape
Woods.
here to deadlock things.
Yeah, Wood's so good with that claw ride, and I think Yatuma has got to have a better first move off the bottom. Because once, Wood sits in that claw ride position, he's really just looking to ride. He's back to his feet. Oh,
Wood.
nice lift and return.
That ride time approaching 2 minutes for Cameron Wood. Yatuma was back to his feet for a moment, but Wood continuing the grasp, and he's at 2 minutes of ride time.
Yeah, it's really starting to stack up now for Wood. Paying dividends to just stay tough in that top position. And I think Yatuma's probably going to want to get out of bounds here and get a fresh start, have a better first move.
Right now, not even to the edge.
Yeah, it's a tough position for Yatuma here because you want to knee slide and get out of bounds, but he's got that rear ankle hook. And yeah, the best opportunity for him to escape all match.
And he
Nice.
does. Oh, didn't look like that was coming, but with 30 seconds,
Well,
Yatuma
he's gotta get to
deadlocks
work.
things.
Yeah, he's got to try to get a takedown. Nothing to lose here in this end of second period. He's already got riding time locked up, and I think Wood's probably going to go down, so he's going to need a takedown anyways. Might as well try to get one at the end of the second period.
Right now, nothing from Yatuma. 10 seconds.
Oh, good shot.
Swung and missed there. And through 2 periods, we're tied up at 2. So certainly Wood has the advantage in this one with the ride time, and he will start on the bottom position here against Brendan Yatuma.
And Yatuma's going to waste no time, go to the feet. Good coaching decision there. He's going to need to get a takedown anyways. And that riding time is going to be hard to take off with about 2 minutes and 31 seconds. So might need a couple takedowns here, maybe some favors from the referee on some stall calls. But barring anything crazy, he's probably going to need 2 takedowns here.
Yatuma really hasn't been all that close to one yet, but as
Yeah.
we've seen, things can flip quickly.
Well, he's got a good double and he's got a good underhook, so he's probably going to have to rely on those really to open up this match against Wood. So he's got a good snap right there. Yeah, his best shot of winning this is probably his double leg, and he's going to have to really push the pace to set that up, and he's going to probably need 2 of them. So, oh, good shot. Yeah, Wood's just so long, and he's got to be careful here. Oh,
That was his
yeah.
best chance, and Wood.
Yeah, it's and honestly, got to be careful. And I think they're out of the challenge, and in my opinion, that was a takedown. Yeah, he's. They're going to talk about it. Are they going to go to review this? Yeah, he's.
Yeah,
in my
will
opinion,
they?
Yeah, in my opinion,
Yes, they
I think
will.
that was a takedown.
We have an official review the Central Michigan takedown.
Yeah, you heard it from the Central Michigan side of things. They were clamoring for it. Let's take a look.
Well, they wasted that brick earlier against Cushman, or in Cushman's match, so they would love to have that one back. But the referee's doing a good job of reviewing this. I hate to say it, referees usually don't turn around their calls, but yeah, I think maybe they're calling. But the thing is, Brian, the rule just came in about a few years ago with no reaction time. I think what happened, there used to be maybe a couple of seconds subjectively with reaction time, and I think Jordan Oliver versus Logan Stieber at NCAA Finals just cashed that rule away. But I think what the referees are going to look at is that hand or elbow hitting the mat before he hit that roll, and did Wood have control? But in my opinion, from all the wrestling matches and matches I've watched, I think this is going to be called a takedown, which is going to be lethal, I think, for Yatuma.
Yeah, that would likely all but clinch it for Cameron Wood. He's got 2.5 minutes of ride time. He's got the 1 point advantage right now. Add 2 more to that, and the math really starting to run out for Brendan Yatuma. One more look at it here.
Yeah. Well, his best bet is hoping these referees are a little bit pompous and not going back on their calls. But, yeah, that's, right there. When he had that, again, right there, too. Yeah. There's 2 possible calls for a takedown, and I hate to say this as a Michigan fan, I think they're going to give a takedown here. I mean, but it needs to be clear video evidence of a takedown, but if they're looking at it for this long, I think they have Central has 2 arguments. I think the first initial one where he was around in that rear standing, and then starting that Granby roll, his fingers touched the mat. But again, this is a subjective call to the referees, and we'll see what happens.
It's a lengthy review here.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that.
So right here, yeah, that's 2. I think that's a takedown right there. That's a takedown, and then that's a takedown, and that could be called a takedown. 3 different. I mean, when you slow it down in fast motion,
sure.
Yeah, it looks just like wrestling, but with that no reaction time rule, you just got to know from that position just to be smart and throw a whizzer. I'm not really sure why he tried to get his hips out and not whizzer into that position, but.
The ruling?
Oh,
wow.
So
nothing.
Brian, I'm eating my words today. I must know nothing about wrestling.
That's not true, but I'll tell you, you had me convinced there was going to be at least a couple of points added. They were over there for a while.
That's a big win for Yatuma.
No doubt.
I mean, now you got to go.
He's in the match now.
He got saved. So I think Central Michigan obviously is not going to get any calls here in Ann Arbor, but that's an interesting call there. I don't know what they saw. Maybe that, there was active wrestling, but just going to have to put it behind us with about 45 seconds ago, and Yatuma's got to get a takedown and ride him.
It was obviously a pretty lengthy respite for both of these guys as well. 30 seconds remaining.
30 seconds.
I mean, you're Yatuma. You just got saved by the bell right there on that review. You got a chance to win put this in overtime. He's got to get going quickly. At least take an attempt.
And he's running out of time. There's his first real attempt.
Oh, nice underhook. I mean, nothing to lose here. Throw it. He's on the edge. Going to try to run him out of bounds, and now he's got 10 seconds. Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, stall call, but it's not going to do anything.
Yeah, 9 seconds remaining.
Yeah, Yatuma. He's got 9 seconds to go. Good
Looking
shot,
for
double.
Something.
He's got to throw it. He's got to try it. You might as well throw, and it's going to out of time.
Went for the trip at the end, could not find it. And Cameron Wood holds on. Central will think it should have been a more dominant win, but it is still 3 points in this duel for the Chippewas. And a nice win for Cameron Wood after getting blown out on Friday against Michigan State.
Yeah, that's a big one for Cameron Wood. I think a good bounce back match. Cameron Caffey, obviously no easy guy to wrestle, super funky, master of funk some call him, but now we're on to heavyweight.
Here we go.
Watch the see.
Mason Paris on his senior day against the redshirt freshman Brian Caves. And 2 already for Paris.
Yeah, you want to watch Mason. I think I'm praying we get a full 7 minutes of wrestling, and just such an awesome guy to watch, man. I can't speak enough good things about Mason Paris.
24-0.
Yeah.
15 bonus wins. Already up 4-1 here.
Hodge Trophy is not the question.
Nope.
So, yeah. watching him wrestle, I think that was my senior year, 2019, pulled him out of his red shirt, and I mean, had some major two big wins over the, Amar Desi of Oregon State, who was the #1. And I'm like, man, this guy's going to be a force. And just has been stopped by a guy, I think a lot of people know, Gable Stevenson, that has just been, again, you get two once-in-a-generation wrestlers. It just happens to be that they're in the Big Ten, in the Nationals, and the same, I think Gable obviously is graduated now, but at the same time, and I think this is Mason's best shot to finally get that national title that he's been, yearning for all these years.
He was the NCAA runner-up back in 2021. But he's #1 right now, and he's got his 3rd takedown in the first minute 15 of this first period.
And I think a lot of these guys, go to, we see across the bench, Amir Rad, super successful weight trainer, and I think seeing a difference between Mason last year and this year, I think put a lot of weight on, and I think a lot of force, and I think we saw that against Greg Kirkfleet and Tony Cassiope, where he just powered these guys over and looking a little more like his old self. Looked a little slow last year. I think, had that neck injury where he was out. So I think this is the full force of Mason Parris we really get to see, and I think he's at his best that I've seen throughout his career. So I think I'm just taking it all in as a Michigan wrestling fan.
Incredible.
And
now for Central Michigan, there's high hopes for Brian Caves, who replaced the 5-time MAC champ and Matt Stenzel, who's now on the staff for Central Michigan. Now, this is going to be a tough putt for him, obviously.
Well, when you got a guy like Matt Stenzel in the room every day, you're just going to get better.
No doubt.
And I think Matt Stenzel and Mason Parris, he's one of the guys that penned Mason Parris, so the guy's no slouch. And
no doubt.
I think also an All-American, and I think if you're a guy like Brian Caves, you get to work with Stenzel every day, you're just going to get tough. So, again, he's got nothing to lose. I think he's going to have a successful career at Central Michigan and get a lot better over the years under a guy like Matt Stenzel.
4th takedown for Parris. Final 30 seconds of this first period, trying to keep him down. Ride time already at 100 seconds. This is as it normally goes for Mason Parris. And it looks like he's going to try to ride out this final 7-8 seconds.
I think the question is for Central Michigan is after Borelli leaves or retires, who's going to be that next coach in line? Son Jason spent some time at Stanford and now is coaching at American. Ben Bennett, the assistant, next guy in line. But we'll see. There's a lot of successful Central wrestlers at different programs, and we'll see who's going to be the next guy to step in those shoes. So definitely super excited to see who replaces, the legend Tom Borelli at Central Michigan.
Been an incredible run. His first season was back in 1991. Just remarkable.
I mean, super. Getting to know the Borelli family, a lot of respect for those guys. I think live and breathe wrestling. To go into, I'd say, a school like Central Michigan where you're not going to get the guys that go to Michigan State, Big Ten wrestlers, but you're going to get maybe the guys that were overlooked in high school, and what he's been able to do with that program over the years, unbelievable. I mean, producing guys like Ben Bennett, Justin Oliver, I think, Matt Stenzel. It's honestly admirable, and it's going to be sad to see him go. But I think he's definitely spent a lot of time at Central Michigan in developing that program.
That's why he's a Hall of Famer. Now it's 11-3. You can hear it in the crowd here. Everybody is taking in Senior Day with Mason Parris.
I think everyone's just breathing it in right now. Usually the crowd's up and on their feet, but seeing Mason Parris one last time in Chrysler Arena, well, obviously we're going to see it again at the Big Ten tournament, so I misspoke. But in a dual meet, we'll see. I mean, it's just super admirable to watch Mason Parris grow and develop over these years, and obviously has big aspirations. Is a All-American student and all academic student. Once he gets another takedown here,
two more.
All academic student. Has a chance to be in the WWE. I mean, this guy's got options. If anybody has options, and wants to add a national title and Olympic gold medal to his belt, and another guy that could have probably played in the NFL. So. But just putting it on Caves here, 13-4 lead.
Yeah, thinking tech fall here.
Yeah.
Up by 9. Late stages of this second period.
I think what really impressed me about Mason was at Iowa this year where, gotten a pretty funky, weird position, gave up a takedown, and that match got really close, but able to dig deep and score at the end to beat a guy like Tony Cassiopeia. His stock has just been rising, this year. And I think Mason did a great job of just pulling the rabbit out of the hat and scoring at the end. And then one of the only guys to win at Penn State and Bryce Jordan Arena, which is a grueling place to win over the #1 guy in the country. So no stranger to big environments, and having those under his belt going into the Big Ten tournament, probably going to be the #1 seed, undisputably. But I think it's going to be a huge, huge, huge thing for him going into that Big Ten tournament with those 2 wins under his belt. Because sometimes you don't see these guys. I think wrestling Ohio State, Iowa, Penn State, all in the regular season, so you're familiar with these faces. And I think sometimes that can shock a lot of guys. You don't see a guy from Minnesota. You don't see a guy from Indiana. He gets another takedown as I'm talking. I can't even keep up with the match. But, Michigan had a tough schedule this year, and I think it's really good for them to have that tough schedule, just like Central, where you've seen a lot of these guys. So it's no surprise when you see a guy at the Big Ten tournament that you've wrestled already this year. Maybe you lost, maybe you've won. But familiarity is definitely a thing that helps you going into that Big Ten and national tournament. So there's nothing crazy to expect. Another takedown.
2 more for Mason Parris.
Well, I said I want to see all 7 minutes. I think we're going to get all 7 minutes.
Yes. And you're likely going to get more than 4 minutes of that being ride time. Yeah. This has been clinical as expected for Mason Parris.
Yeah, I'd love to see him finish it off with a fall.
He's got 40 seconds with which to work.
1 point skate for Central Michigan.
Yeah, Mason just putting on a show here.
30 seconds.
Nice. Oh, beautiful. Nothing there, but good job by Caves.
Yeah, he's hanging tough.
Yeah, he is.
Bright future for this young man up in Mount Pleasant.
Yeah,
Final moments of this senior day.
No easy task. Mason Parris, a lot of guys that wouldn't step on the mat with him, let alone compete. And another takedown by Parris.
A fitting cap to a dominant performance from Mason Parris. Win number 116, and he's 25-0 heading into the Big Ten Championships in a couple of weeks here in Ann Arbor. Number 25 for Mason Parris. A smile capping off a 30-9 dominance for the Michigan Wolverines here today in this second 5 matches. Central Michigan certainly represented itself better than those 2 falls in the first 3 at 133 and 171, but Michigan was in control of this duel really from the start.
Yeah, I think if you're Central Michigan, you got to hang your head high. Competed in a lot of these matches. Look at your bright spots. Johnny Lovett, how about that, man? Coming out with 4 or 5 doubles, really wanting to see, the best Johnny Lovett, best version of Johnny Lovett this year at 49, and huge confidence builder for him. And then obviously, 174, another match where, Alex Kramer coming off 2 big wins in the Big Ten. So, and then obviously on the other side for Michigan, Dylan Ragusin getting back on track. Cole Matten back in the lineup with a fall, and then Mason Parris and Cameron Amin. I mean, your leaders on the team, getting those big wins. So, excited to see these guys come back and for a curtain call at Chrysler Arena. You couldn't ask for it. So.
Yeah, no doubt. You can see in the stats it was as dominant as that final score would indicate. Michigan heading into that Big Ten championship here at Chrysler Center with a 30-9 victory over Central Michigan. So the Wolverines improved to 11-4. Central Michigan will head to the max at 6-10. Great stuff from everyone on our crew. Now for Malik Amin, I'm Brian Bush. Again, the final, Michigan dominates Central 30-9. Thanks so much for watching right here on Big Ten Plus.